Hello, everybody. Ella J here on behalf of WrestleZone, and today I am joined by the Violence Artist, your king of the Metro, and your #1 contender for the PWA Heavyweight Championship, Charli Evans. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I am so good to be talking with you, by the way. I'm so glad you're wearing a tank top because we're going to show off some of your newest tattoos. I know some of them are on your arm. We'll talk about those a little bit later. But I wanted to start off with something that is very recent. PWI 500. You came in at number 222. Angel numbers. I know you're big into that. We'll talk about your tattoo. And yeah, I was gonna say you literally got it tattooed on you. What a big accomplishment. So congratulations on that, first of all. Very well deserved. I think you should have been a little bit higher personally. Personally.
I'll try.
But 222 is great, Next year you'd be 111, something to aim for.
No,
So
it's very exciting, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
especially as a woman on making it on the list, I think that is huge. And to have Jess crack the top 100 as well, like that was the coolest fucking thing.
I think it's ironic. She was 99, you were 222, so maybe there's something going on in the cosmos. I just have to point that out. But yeah, like you said, you and Jessica were two of the highest ranked Aussies. I think the only one higher than Jessica was Kyle Fletcher, from what I understand. But she was the
Yeah.
highest ranked woman, like, period. So your ranking though, do you recall your initial reaction to this honor, and obviously what did it mean to you?
I remember I saw a tweet from one of my friends, Gabby, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait till Chev sees that she's
Yeah.
222." And I was like, "What is she talking about?" And then the other tweets started loading up, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, it is just cool." Like, to be recognized in any way, but especially on like a male dominated list, I think is
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah, and obviously you got 222 tattooed on you in honor of that. I know you're big into angel numbers. I think me and you have talked about this a little bit before, like crystals and like tarot and stuff like that. Obviously 222 is associated with balance, collaboration, love, and harmony. So I kind of wanted to play on those themes throughout today's
I
chat.
love it.
So we'll first obviously talk balance and collaboration because it kind of ties in together well with your upcoming match, which we're here to talk about. You will be challenging for the PWA Heavyweight Championship at PWA Colosseum on October 12th at the Metro Theater in Sydney against someone who you consider to be your soulmate, and it's vice versa. I spoke with Jessica very recently. Not that you didn't already know that, but against your soulmate, Jessica Troy. Obviously, it's ironic though, because in talking to you guys, what it's been like 4 years now, you and Jessica seem to be quite opposites though, both in the ring and personality wise. Obviously, you're very outgoing. I mean, I don't know. I've seen Jessica in person. She seemed a little bit quieter and that. And obviously she's more technically based. You're not afraid to be hardcore and death match. So how has Jessica balanced you out as a friend and as a in-ring competitor? What have you learned that makes you better in both facets?
I think we really do balance each other out because we are so opposite on paper,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but we're so alike in so many like different ways.
Mm.
Um, we have very, very similar like personalities, humor, um, ways of thinking. We like in that way we're very similar. Looks wise, style wise, life wise, complete opposites. But I think that helps. If I ever have something where she's super grounded, super calming, super like level-headed
Yes.
in situations where I'm quite abrupt and quick to react and act with my heart more than my head sometimes. So we balance each other out perfectly in those ways.
Yeah, and in ring wise too, I was talking to Jessica. You guys started a month apart. I think she started a month before you did, and then you came in. I've talked to Jessica about it. How did you land it at PWA? Oh wait, okay. Did you guys start at PWA or was it somewhere else? Now that I'm thinking about this.
We started at Newcastle Pro Wrestling,
Okay.
um, which is basically a sister company to
Yes.
PWA.
Okay.
So very, very similar rosters, kind of interchangeable, really, especially at that time.
Yeah.
So we started there. We both lived in the Newcastle area. when we were younger. And then about a year or so in, we moved to Sydney and started training with PWA.
Yeah, I feel like your paths have always crossed. How did you, maybe it was just vicinity wise, how did you land at Newcastle, specifically their training grounds? Was it vicinity wise, or was you were really drawn to the program?
It was vicinity wise. So I grew up on the Central Coast, so 45 minutes to an hour away.
Yeah,
Whereas PWA is in Western Sydney, so it's about a 2-hour drive for me.
yeah.
So I was like a child. I was still in high school, so my parents would take me or I'd get the train. So that was just like conveniently, it was only like
Yeah,
45 minutes and
yeah.
they'd have to sit in the car and wait for me.
You were what, like 15, 16 at the time?
Yeah, about 16,
My gosh,
17.
yeah. Yeah. That's crazy though. You've basically grown up with her as well, and it's funny though, you starting out, especially at such a young age. People are now starting even earlier, like 13, 14, like Roxanne Perez, Billy Stark started at like 13 years old, which is like crazy. Um,
Crazy.
did you ever feel a pressure to like mature faster? Not only are you in this male dominated industry as a woman, but you're basically trying to grow up yourself during this time. Did you ever feel a pressure, whether just inherently or being in this bubble, to mature faster?
I don't think it was so much a pressure. I think it just naturally occurred,
Mm,
especially because I moved to the UK when I was 19.
yeah.
So like packing up
Hmm.
your whole life and hoping for the best and not knowing a lot of people over there, I think you kind of just have to grow up. And I think I've always been pretty independent though. So it wasn't really a scary thing or anything like that. But yeah, you definitely have to mature quicker.
And now here you are, we were talking about your friendship with Jessica. Obviously, you two, your friendship is so deep that you two now have matching fairy wing tattoos. Obviously, I think that's so cool. It ties in with tarot cards, and you two, like, I was telling Jessica this, like the astronomical odds of you two having this random ass tarot deck is like one in a million. Like, unless it was really popular in Australia, I don't know. And then obviously you got the letter J tattooed on your arm, I think it is, her initial. So tell us about the occasion of getting matching tattoos from your perspective, and obviously what prompted you to get her first initial tattooed.
So I really wanted to get a tattoo for her for
Yeah.
a while. And I thought, oh, it'd be great to like tie this in, tie this in as like a sort of promo thing. Like our video guy Leo can come along and he can film the whole day and I'll, talk about the match and what it means to me and the importance of Jessica in my life. While I was getting this tattoo for her. And we had planned to have her come later in the day. And we just told her, oh, we're going to film a promo for Colosseum, whatever. And she was going to like see it. Uh, and then she messaged me and was like, I really think we should get tattoos. And I was like, okay, I'm so down because we've been talking about it for a while. And she's like, oh, this is what I want to get. And it was the wings from the tarot deck. And I was like, I'm gonna just have to tell you right now. So I was like, this was the idea. I was going to get this for you, literally exactly what you have just told me. Do you want to do it together? I think that's even cooler. So that all came about, and my tattoo artist is amazing.
Yeah.
And they were so down to have us film. So that was sweet. It was Jessica's first tattoo, so I think that's important as well. And yeah, it was exciting. It was fun. I had to look so brave on camera, like it didn't hurt.
Well, really? Like, okay, so where exactly on your arm is your fairy wing tattoo?
Like right there. Twist my
Oh,
wrist.
you're near your
Right on
wrist?
the wing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is just me selfishly because I'm kind of like Jessica. I've always wanted one, but like kind of been afraid to get it. I've always wanted one on my wrist, but now if you're saying that it hurts and
It really wasn't
you're
that bad.
you're all tatted up, like so like
I mean,
okay, how is it on your wrist? This is just me selfishly.
it's not really not that bad.
Okay.
And it's quite quick because whatever you get there is going to be pretty small. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine it would take it. Like this took like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's really not that bad, I promise.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna trust you because
And it's worth it.
you're an expert in it. I've always wanted it here, but I've always been like too afraid of it because I've heard it's a cat scratch. People have said like it's really bad, like painful on your wrist. I've heard so many different things.
It's a bit scratchy.
Okay. I can take that. I have cats. I get scratched all the
Yeah,
time. I
exactly.
can,
You'll be
you
fine.
know what? I think I can do that.
You'll walk in the
Ma-
park.
You know, it's funny though because we were talking about, balance then collaboration. Like we said, you and Jessica will be pitted against each other, but obviously you will be working in collaboration to put on this main event performance at PWA Colosseum. So, what is your mindset heading into this match against your best friend for the PWA Heavyweight Championship on the line?
It is probably the most important match of my career so far. Like it has just written itself. It's like 10 years in the making, and I I don't want to put pressure on it. And I haven't been thinking about it too much because I don't want to put that pressure on it because I feel like people have an expectation of us, which is fine, which is great. Uh, but it is like a love letter really to each other, to our story, like our friendship. It's like 10 years. And I think it's beautiful too because so many people have watched us, like so many PWA fans, even new people have watched us grow from kids to like women that are main eventing the biggest show in this country. And like, if you're a wrestler in Australia and your goal is not Colosseum, that's fucking insane to me because it's like it's the show of shows. Like
Yeah.
if you get recognized for Colosseum, that's a big deal. And it's her third time in it, it's my second time in it, and I really do think we have something to prove, especially with how strong the whole card is and the fact that we're main eventing, like that we absolutely have a chip on our shoulder and something to prove going out there.
Yeah, and I think you kind of alluded to it. From what I understand, this is also a first round PWA Colosseum match. So for those who don't know, who aren't from Australia, can you kind of explain the Colosseum tournament stakes for them?
Yeah, so Colosseum is basically the recognition of the top grapplers in Australia. It's an 8-person tournament over 2 days, and it's a knockout tournament. So we're the first round. Whoever wins out of us two is going through to the next night and wrestling twice again. And the winner will be the PWA Heavyweight Champion by the end of it. Whether it's me, whether it's Jess, it'll be me. But we also get a sword if you win the Colosseum tournament, which is fucking sick. So there's a lot of stakes on the line.
Now, will this PWA Heavyweight Championship just be defended in the first round, or will it be defended every round? Just so we're clear.
Every round. She's
Every
put out
round.
the call that she's defending it every round. So when I beat her the first night, I'll be defending it the next two.
Okay.
Oh.
Damn. Yeah, you got so potentially what, 3 matches on your plate?
Yes.
Three matches in 2 nights. But you could have the title and a sword.
And a sword.
And a
I feel
sword.
like if anyone should get a sword, it's me.
Why?
Imagine me using that thing. Oh,
Yeah. I
no
mean,
one's done it.
you're already king of the metro. Now
Yeah.
you need like a throne and a crown and a sword.
Yeah, no one has used their sword physically in a match, and I feel like I could absolutely be the first one to do it.
I don't know if you would be like Drew McIntyre and cut the ropes. That seems very costly, but it also looked cool as hell.
It's just yeah. Yeah, and like having a sword is like that's so sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Sick.
What would your nickname be then, you know? Like I feel like you're obviously violence artist, you're king of the metro. What would it be then if you have a sword then?
Oh my God.
That's
I don't
something to
know,
think
something
about.
like something cool and tough.
Something to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
I think
You
I got
know,
two.
that it, at the time of recording this, we are about what, yeah, 2 weeks out, at this point, 3 weeks out at this point, actually. Um, at PWA Colosseum, and like you said, it is the biggest event of the year. It's going to be taking place over 2 nights. You're going to be wrestling on night one and likely night two, should you defeat Jessica. But we also have to talk about another kind of strange but awesome match that we're having on night one. So far confirmed. There's only a few handful of matches confirmed at the time of recording this, by the way. But one of them is Grayson Waller, former WWE Tag Team Champion, is returning to PWA. Actually, it is the first time we're seeing Grayson Waller in a PWA ring. Maddie Wahlberg is kind of in the past, but he will be returning to PWA for the first time in 3.5 years to face Jimmy Townsend. So, what are your thoughts on Grayson returning to PWA Australia? You like forbidden doors wide open, baby.
Pro wrestling is so crazy in 2024, and it's only getting crazier. Like, incredibles. I'm so excited to have him back, even if it's just for a night. Like, his personality and just having him around, his morale, his like team building spirit, like he really, really wants the best for all of us. And even since he's been signed, he's been so supportive of everyone. He's always there for us. So to have him back actually wrestling on a show while he's signed to WWE, just wrestled at WrestleMania and won the tag belts, it's just incredible.
Now, this is going to be coming out after this particular match happens, but he could be walking into PWA with WWE Gold, because 4 days before, he and Austin Theory will be vying for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Like we said, you will already know the results when you see this. But coming in with NXT Gold, would that be something I mean, you and Jessica are fighting on night one, but you guys have talked about tag titles in the past together. Is that something you
Go on, why not? The door's open, isn't it? That would be unreal. I'm so excited to have him, and for Jimmy to have this match and really like prove himself. Like, that's his guy, so it's really cool.
Yeah, and like you said, it's really awesome to hear that Grayson has been so supportive of, the Aussie scene that he, basically grew up with, because you hear some things about people getting signed and getting big-headed, so it's honestly really refreshing to hear that, especially because it's kind of contradictory from his on-screen persona. So that's awesome to hear.
Like, he is fantastic, and like he knows how good he is, but he
Yeah.
wants to share it with everyone. So I'm so excited to have him.
Yeah, you've worked with him obviously, I believe before he got signed and everything. You guys kind of were in the same circles and everything before then. You've seen his ascension on the indies and now in WWE. So how has it been seeing him grow in WWE? What differences have you seen in him as somebody, who kind of grew up through the years, seeing him on the indies versus now? What differences have you seen in him growth-wise?
I saw him on his first day of training, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But even since the first day, he is an unreal athlete, picks up stuff really, really quickly, super kind, super helpful, like always wants to see everyone rise, not just himself. He wants everyone to rise together, which I think is paramount at PWA. I think it is such a family and we all want each other to succeed, not just one person. So seeing him go off, and we all knew he'd fit right in straight away because he is a star.
Yeah.
And just seeing him slot himself right in where he deserves to be, on TV straight away, on the main roster very, very quickly, fucking WrestleMania. It's just unreal. And the fact that he'll always come back to us and say, like, you could do this on the shows, or really like give us a different perspective, because he had that TV experience telling us like how to work the cameras, just different cues that will really help us elevate our product as well.
Have you taken, in conversations with him, have you taken any specific advice he's given to you and then applied it in your own work? Do you have an example at all?
Definitely like taking time and letting moments sit in. I think moments especially.
Hmm.
So which is amazing.
Yeah. You can cultivate, hopefully you have many moments at PWA Colosseum, and like we said, this is kind of a forbidden door crossover, which is something WWE's only really just been doing the last year and a half. I think it started with Shinsuke Nakamura at Pro Wrestling Noah. You've been to Japan. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but if you were given the opportunity to wrestle anyone from WWE right now, who would it be and why? I'll give you like 3 to 5 picks because it's probably hard to narrow down one. Who are some talents you'd like to work with if given the opportunity?
PWE. Okay.
You can do
Oh,
NXT too, obviously. Main roster and NXT.
I think Io would be really cool. Asuka would be really cool. Um, Bronson Reed would be sick. That would be so sick. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Tegan Knox.
Yeah.
She's a dream match of mine. She has been
Repeat
for a
that.
long time. Yeah,
Or
that would
no,
be really
repeat that. It cut out. Sorry.
cool. She would be like a dream match of mine because she's dope. Ria, the
Well, duh. Yeah.
just to
Yeah,
know those.
obviously Bronson Reed is obviously from within the Australian circles. Obviously Ria Ripley. Did you ever I don't know this offhand. Did you ever get to work Ria when she was Demi Bennett on yeah?
Yeah, a few times. Which
How
is
was that experience? You know, you guys actually I think are the same age now that I think. Yeah, so you two were basically both growing up at the same time. I think she came in maybe a year or two after you. How was that experience working with her as, you know, you're both trying to navigate life and wrestling as well?
it was sweet. She's always been really, really cool. I think she started about a year or two before me and Jess.
Mm,
Um, she had just done the last PWWA show that
got it.
we never got to do. Um, but yeah, we wrestled a few times. The first time she was ever a heel was against me in like my hometown, and it's so funny. I wish I had the footage of it. It's amazing. But she's fucking amazing. Seeing her like brings tears to my fucking eyes. Anytime she succeeds at anything, it is just the most unreal thing.
And you know, here we are. You know, it's funny though too because obviously you two have had different paths, but you've also accomplished so much. I feel like not a lot of people, especially coming from the Australian bubble, and I was talking with Jessica about this, talked to many Aussies about this. It's like this little bubble that's sometimes hard to get out of, and that's why you see like a Shazza moving to the US, Lena Cross is in Japan, UK, US. You've also done that too. So I feel like especially in the last couple of years, a lot of you guys are kind of laying out the blueprint for Aussies that you can make careers elsewhere and get out of this bubble and all of that, you know. So that's really something to be really proud of. You know, I feel like not a lot of people, especially coming from Australia, have the resume that you do. US, you know, UK, I think you've had some European dates too, Japan, you know. Where would you like to wrestle that you have not yet, like country wise? Have you wrestled in Canada?
I haven't wrestled in Canada. I would
Okay.
love to wrestle in Canada.
Okay.
I've never. I would really, really like to wrestle in Canada. That would be sick. I want to wrestle Nicole Matthews.
Oh yeah.
Really bad. I think that would be great. Yeah, Canada would be a top one. Japan obviously is
Yeah.
always the goal. But yeah, like more America, more UK. I'm so keen to go anywhere.
Well, we'll talk about that. Let's talk about Japan because you recently returned there for your honeymoon and to make your Choco Pro debut. We'll talk about Choco Pro first. Obviously, it was against Mei Shiruga, big ball of energy. You know, very different from you, but very hard hitting as well. And it's kind of a full circle thing because Mei was was at your first Japan show in 2019. That's where you met her. So tell us about your overall experience at your Choco Pro debut and working with May.
Oh, I love Choco Pro. Let's start off there.
Yeah,
I watch it all the time. I am such a fan. I think it's so fun, so weird, but like in the best possible way.
yeah.
So Connor and I actually just went to watch. And because Reena was on it as well. So I was like, oh,
Yes.
surprise Reena.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her I was coming or anything. So we just came to watch and the show had started and Reena walked in to do her match and she like clocked Connor first and then she was like clocked me and oh, it was so kind. It was so nice. So we got to hang out with her for a while after that. But just the energy and the vibe, it was honestly the best wrestling show I've ever watched live. Like truly like fan experience, It was amazing. You're just in this little room. It was like 30 people. It's hot as fuck. And there's like 3 matches and it's over and it's amazing. It's perfect. And I was talking to Emmy after and she said, "Oh, why didn't you wrestle?" And I didn't bring my gear with me to Japan because we were just,
Okay.
there
Mm-hmm.
vacation. And she's like, "Oh, we have a show next week. Do you want to wrestle?" And I was like, "Well, I can't say no. Like I'm saying yes, because fuck yeah, I absolutely am going to do this." So I was like, I'll just find a outfit to wear. And it just so happens that one of my friends was actually coming over um, for a holiday for herself, like 2 days later. So I like messaged her and I was like, "Hey, this is so random." We'd also like never really met properly. Like we're like friends of a friend.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, this is so random, but could you go and get my gear and bring it over for me, please?" Because I really like they all have such beautiful costumes.
Yeah.
And I just thought some shit like pants and a top is not gonna cut it. So she actually went and got my gear and flew it over for me. And then we met the day before and she dropped it off. So that was a nice little story. But May is awesome. She's always so lovely. Like the first show I did in Japan, she was there and she was like, I think still in high school, honestly.
Yeah.
But she was so welcoming and she's always like tried really hard with English and stuff like that as well. So that's really kind. Um, but I was so happy when I found out I was wrestling her. It was just from the graphic too, and I was like, it was really, really, and to do it there is awesome too, because that's her place.
Now, I know you were planning to just go on vacation, but if you know that you were going to Choco Pro, the old adage is you always bring your gear, Charlie.
I know, but I don't know. I was so happy just watching,
Yeah.
truly, truly so happy just watching. But when it did come about, I was like, oh, all right, I'm not gonna say no.
Well, yeah, of course. And you finally got to make your Choco Pro debut, and obviously it's surprising that you and in May, granted, she is very dedicated to Choco Pro, so I get that. She hasn't had a lot of other bookings, I believe. But you did get to reunite, like you said, with Reena Yamashita, who you haven't wrestled in a long time, at this. So tell us more about your reunion with her. Obviously, your pictures, we saw them on social media. We love a good reunion.
I do. I love Rena. She's so, so good. And I feel like she does not get the credit she deserves. I truly think she is one, if not the best deathmatch wrestler in the world. Um, she's fucking insane. She's up for anything. Her technical ability is unreal. Her facial expressions are unreal. Like she's one of the best people I've ever wrestled. So I love hanging out with her and I love getting to see her and I want her to like I want everyone to know how fucking good she is because she truly, truly is.
She was also on a PWA 500, I believe. I think she was either the second or the third highest ranked woman on there after Jessica. So she was very close to you. So we love an iconic trio on the PWI 500, you, Jessica, and Reena. And like we said, on the topic of love now, obviously Japan was also kind of the site for your honeymoon with Everett Connors. So tell us about some of the scenes that you saw across Osaka, Tokyo, and Japan in general.
It was so good. It was his first time, so it was very exciting.
Ah,
And my first time in Osaka as well, which I loved Osaka. I thought that was awesome. We went to Universal because he's a big Mario fan, so that was cool. Um, but it was just beautiful, and we already want to go back. We've literally been looking at flights already. You get this, you really do get like post Japan depression.
oh,
Like it's
really?
just a
Yeah.
life-changing
I've heard so many
experience.
good things about it. Obviously, I've never been, but I've only like heard good things about it, you know. And I have to imagine it's especially good because you can actually like take in the sights, you know. You're not like all wrestling. You can actually like enjoy your surroundings and all that. What else did you guys do? I saw you guys met up with some friends and all of that. What else did you guys do besides Universal that you really enjoyed kind of exploration wise? I think I saw you oversaw the mountains, I think, on your train ride I saw. What tell us about some of your other explorations?
We went to Fuji, which was really cool. I'd never been to Fuji
Ah,
either. So that was amazing. And yeah, you can even see it from like the bullet train on your way to Osaka. So that was just a really cool view as well. But I liked the Fuji area because it's very like peaceful and mellow. Like Tokyo
Mm.
is pretty fucking crazy
Yeah.
in like a great way, but it is a bit chaotic. So it was nice to just kind of get away for a few days and just be like, huh. Very peaceful, very like quiet and serene, and there's a lot of beautiful shrines and temples that you
Mm.
can like walk around. So that was really nice. And then Tokyo is just
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing. We got
How
to see Chris as well, which was really nice.
how did you and because again, there's so many countries throughout the world. How did you and Everett Connors decide in Japan is the site of your honeymoon?
Oh, Japan's always the one.
Okay.
Easiest out ever, Japan. But I think I don't know, there wasn't really anywhere else that I'm like buzzing to see. I really want to go to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. That's like my
So
actual
so maybe it's just Jessica, but Jessica Hawaii seemed to be like a normal stop, at least for Jessica when she's flying between the States and the US. She'll stop in Hawaii for a couple days and then fly back to wherever. So that's not a regular thing?
she's been to Hawaii. I don't know if you can. I don't know. I usually do like Sydney to Dallas and then Dallas to St. Louis because it's kind of close.
Ah, okay.
So I guess it just depends where you're
Got it.
flying to. But I don't think the flight from Australia is really that long to Hawaii, right? Because it's kind of, I
No,
mean, it's
it's kind of in the middle. Yeah.
I didn't realize how far away it actually was from America.
Yeah. It's just sitting out there in the Pacific Ocean. Yeah.
Because I looked at flights once from
Hmm.
St. Louis to Hawaii and I was
Yeah.
like, why is this $1,000? Like, and then it was like 10 hours or something. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I really thought it was very close, but I was wrong.
No. Kind of
So
just
Hawaii,
off and well, hopefully, well, we don't know when you will be in Hawaii, but you will be returning to another country who that has very special memories for you, that being the United Kingdom. You will be returning there beginning November 1st, where you and Millie McKenzie will take on Kanji and Emerson Jane at Pro Wrestling Eve. Obviously, you and Millie reunited this past May for the first time in 2 years. So how was it again? Obviously, you two have seen each other, but how was it sharing a ring with her again for the first time in 2 years?
so good. And it felt like no time had passed.
That's
Truly, like
good.
we were like back on it. Everything was smooth. All our shit flowed perfectly. So it's awesome. I really wish it was close, like we were closer, but it's okay. I'm really excited to go back. I didn't think I'd be back this year, so it's amazing.
How long will you, for those who are maybe looking to book you, how long will you be in the UK or planning
I'm
to
there for
be?
about 3 weeks.
Okay.
3 weeks. I'm booked as book, but I mean, if you have a weekday show, please contact me. I'll do it.
There you go. We love to see Charlie Evans booked and busy. And it's funny because you talk about full circle. You, Millie, and Nina, it's funny because one of the first matches I ever saw of you was you and Millie against the Royal Aces, and we'll talk about that. You, Millie, and Nina Samuels were also the last opponents of Charlie Morgan and Jetta. Handpicked, should I add. First of all, how did it feel to be handpicked for such a special occasion like, their professional wrestling? Granted, retirement, is not really serious, but, should it be? How did it feel to be handpicked for such a special occasion like that?
Oh, I was crying. It truly does mean a lot. I've been a few people's last matches now, and it always it is sad. Like it'll always make me cry. Because obviously they really trust you and love you to
Yeah.
put you in that position and have you be the last one. So it was like the most perfect match it could have been.
It's
Yeah.
it's sad, but it's I feel like it's a full circle thing. Jetta and Charlie Morgan are obviously huge in the professional wrestling in UK. You've gotten to work with them on several occasions when you were over there. So, what are some of your favorite memories? Still on the topic of love, what are some of your favorite memories with Jetta and Charlie Morgan, whether it's in the ring or out of it?
I think honestly that last weekend, um, where it was their last match and then we all hired like an Airbnb and all the girls stayed and we had
Mm.
like the next day with each other and we went and visited the Resgal, which is where Eve used to run in
Yes.
Bethnal Green. So that was a really lovely weekend and I'll always hold that really, really dear to my heart. But any Eve weekend from 2017, you know, to 2020 when I left, without fail, me, Millie, Charlie, and Jenna were all together, and we have some crazy, crazy stories. Like, we were watching back old videos, like the week of, and I was staying with them as well. So
Yes.
getting to share, like, you know, the time with them was so good. But oh my God, so many good memories with both of them.
Can you tell us one crazy story?
We got put into this like real like weird hotel where we had to like walk down so many flights of stairs, and they were super, super narrow, and we all had our cases. And the video of it is so funny, but like, we called it the dungeon because it looked like a dungeon. So we were all staying
Scary.
in there, bless. Like, it would happen nowhere else. It was funny, so it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my God, it was just like the funniest night. And then Charlie would have this blanket from when she was like a child, I guess, called Raggy. And she lost Raggy in the dungeon, and we never saw him again. So
Yeah, I wouldn't go back in there from the sounds of it.
yeah, rest in peace,
Rip,
Raggy.
rip Raggy. I sound Scooby Doo. Rip Raggy. Um, man, hopefully, I hope she got a new one in place. I feel like that's such a sentimental thing.
No, I
Do
know,
you,
but like, of course it happened there. Like,
yeah.
she's very forgetful anyway, so she does
Oh,
lose
okay.
all everywhere. But she literally nearly left her gear when she had her last match, probably.
Girl. Girl, you need in the future, I feel like you need to get her a new Raggy. You need to get as a present. I feel like she'll appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we could find the original one day.
Now, on the topic of harmony, you know, you live I don't want to say crazy lifestyle, but you sometimes live on the edge, I feel like. So, where is Charlie? You know, you're all over. You like all over the world. Japan, maybe Japan is the answer, but where is your happy slash peaceful place? Like where where do you feel like the most like tranquil? You know, when the world is buzzing around you, where do you feel at peace?
I'm okay. People from here are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But I love the Central Coast, which is where I live,
Yeah.
where I'm from originally. And you know, I love traveling. I love St. Louis, and I love fucking Wolverhampton in England, and I love Japan with all my heart. I love Japan. Um, but I do just love being home as well sometimes, and just having a structure. And I'm 10 minutes from the beach, and it's beautiful. And you know, my family's here, so
Mhm.
I do just love, you know, being in my own space.
Now let me ask you this selfishly. Obviously, you're in Australia right now. You were just in Japan. You're going to be in the UK for 3 weeks. When are you coming back to the States?
I don't
Oh,
know. Soon, I hope. Soon, I hope.
okay.
I'm available for professional wrestling bookings in America. If anyone would like to book me,
It's true.
just hey.
I have yet to see you wrestle live, which is a crime.
We need to make that happen.
I know.
I know. Okay. Yeah, no, we will. I definitely will be back soon. I'm not doing Mania weekend. I can't handle that.
I also Vegas is crazy expensive. I'm also not doing Mania weekend, so like I get you. And also like it's Easter weekend. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, Vegas is crazy as it is, and then Mania weekend is crazy as it is, and then combining the two together
Yeah.
is going to be fucked.
So I'll see you 2026, Charlie.
Yeah, so I hope everyone has a great time, but
You
I will
know,
not be there.
so you're over a decade. You're about a decade now into your career, if not over. You've traveled the world. Obviously, PWA Heavyweight Championship is a short-term goal, imminent goal. What do you want to, what is your ultimate goal in professional wrestling? You know, a lot of people it is to get signed. I know you've just been wanting to travel the world and kind of just do your own thing, but right now, what would you say are your personal and professional goals for like the next year or two?
Um, Eddie Kingston.
That's fair.
Yeah,
He's injured right now, but yes, yes.
get that. No, that's the goal.
Okay.
And I think anything else that I do on the way to that is just extra or just preparing me. Truly, like that has been the goal for so long, and I feel like at this point it has to happen. Otherwise, I will never like be fulfilled.
Now, once that happened, you're not gonna like hang it up right away. Just to be clear,
But
right?
depends when it happens, I guess. But I truly
Fair.
probably could. I truly could, but I really do think that once I have that, I'll be like so inspired and motivated
Now
and
you
learn so much that I'll push on.
you have to make me a promise. Should you wrestle Eddie Kingston before you can't wrestle Eddie Kingston, okay, I'll make this clear. You can't retire until I see you wrestle and you wrestle Eddie Kingston. That's
Okay,
it.
we can do that. Fine.
Hey,
We'll make
bet.
it happen.
Now I want to kind of transition into something fun. I know it's not a huge thing in Australia, but it is spooky season here in the States. I've heard it's not that big of a thing in Australia, which is like makes me sad. But I don't know. Are you a spooky gal, would you say?
I'm a pussy. So I don't like spooky movies or anything, but I fucking love Halloween.
It's kind of surprising, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I'm a
Okay.
weak.
So as long as you enjoy the Halloween holiday, I will take that. So what are some of your favorite Halloween? Granted, Halloween in Australia falls in the spring, so it's a little bit different. What are some of your favorite Halloween trends and or aspects of the Halloween season?
Well, the last few I have been in America, so that's cool. It's always cool to see Halloween in
Oh,
America
you'll
because
you'll be kind of in the UK at this time now that I think about it.
and the
Yeah.
UK gets more into it, especially more into it than Australia. Definitely not as much as America, but at least it'll be, cold and a little like very overcast and cloudy.
Yeah.
But I've like my mum was always super into it. So she would like decorate the house and
Yeah.
we'd be like the one house on the street that would give out candy and stuff. So that was always it would be me and my sister coming to the door. But
Yeah.
it was always nice. But Australia's getting a little more into it, but nowhere near America at all.
Have you been in America during a Halloween, like Halloween day, Halloween season?
Yes. Yes. The last year and then I think
Oh yeah.
a few years before the pandemic, I think. But we went to like Halloween Horror Nights and I
How
hated
was
it.
that? Aw.
I hated it.
That's kind of surprising. You have this like tough exterior that you don't expect it.
Yeah, I literally was fucking mortified.
Aw.
I went through about two houses. We got fast passes and everything.
Okay.
I went through two houses and I was like, my heart rate is fucking through the roof. Like I can't go on. And then there was this like spooky ballerina bitch that wouldn't leave me alone. You know, when you like walk through and they chase you?
Yeah.
She wouldn't leave me alone. So I went to like the safe zone and I was standing there, but everyone wanted to go on and I was like, I can't. So
I'm s-
Duke Hudson literally picked me up over his shoulder and fucking ran me through. He's like, and I went to Harry Potter World by myself.
that's fair. I'm surprised on instinct you didn't like drop kick the ballerina.
Well, yeah, I had to walk through when we were doing the houses. I had to walk through with my hands through the back of Jessica's shirt
Mm.
because the instinct
Yeah.
is to, and I don't want to hit this.
At least you had the awareness for that.
Oh yeah, I was like, walk.
So no spooky movies for Charlie Evans.
I love like true crime
Okay.
and like
Yeah.
murder shows and stuff like that, but not like horror films.
Okay. Okay.
It's
I
real,
can
that's fine. But if it's fake, fuck no.
also it's like a lot it can be a lot gorier if it's like fake, you
Yeah.
know. Granted, so like it's different too when you're watching a movie more so than like true crime like podcasts or like documentaries and stuff. Um okay, interesting, interesting. I love both personally. But to kind of tie it with wrestling, if you could have any fictional or mythological creature be your tag team partner for an evening, what would you choose and why?
Ooh, creature. Something tough. like the three-headed dog from Harry Potter or something.
What is it, Cerberus? Or is that what it's called? I don't even know.
Yeah, but something like tough though. I don't know. I'm sure there's better things, but
I don't know
I
why the
don't want.
first thing I thought of for you was vampire. You just seem like
Is that a creature though, or a human?
um fi- people see it as a creature, fictional, or it's also like a Halloween creature, you know? A witch
Okay.
is technically like a witch is technically like a human. People call it like a Halloween creature though too. Same with like warlocks and stuff like
In
that.
that
I
case,
would call it a humanoid.
okay,
That's like kind of a blend of creature and human. That's what I would call like a vampire and a witch, be like a humanoid.
okay, I changed my answer to the whole cast of Twilight.
Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. So you have a werewolf, you have a vampire, and you have a girl stuck between both. Are you the girl
Yeah.
stuck between both?
No, I'm definitely the vampire.
Okay. Were you huge? Okay, this is off topic though. Were you huge into Twilight?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yeah. I still am. I still am. I'll watch it. As soon as it hits winter here, Twilight's on.
Were you team Jacob or team Edward?
Team Edward.
Hmm. We can't be
But also
friends.
I
I
can get
retract my statement. I'm kidding. Kidding.
I can get amongst it. I just think it's the best movie ever.
That's fair. Honestly, though, to be honest, I've actually never seen any of them. I just always thought Taylor Lautner was hotter.
That's fair. I can understand that. You need to watch them. They're so fucking
I
bad, but
know.
so good.
So let me ask you this. And so you know how people like say you have celebrity doppelgangers? I think this is personally just because I'm pale, but one of my old high school teachers used to call me Kristen Stewart. I don't think I look like her. I'm just pale. So she used to call me that. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I would always think of Twilight.
That's fair. I think
I thought of
that's
that.
you should watch
Yeah,
it. It's
I know. I feel like I have to. It's my era too.
right. I
Mm.
can't believe you haven't.
I know. I haven't watched a lot of popular like I just watched I don't know. I just watched Hocus Pocus for the first time this year. It's like a Halloween. It's not really scary. I think you would actually like it, you know. It's not really that scary. I think you would like it. I watched it for the first time. People say it's like a Halloween classic, and now I get the hype around it. So I would recommend that to you actually.
Add it to the Halloween watch list.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's like a mix of comedy and a little bit of spooky, but it's not really horror. It's more like also a little bit supernatural because there's magic and stuff. I think you would like it. Just
I love
a
that.
just something to test out. I'll watch Twilight, although to be fair, that's like what, four movies? Mm.
5.
Five!
Buckle up.
Oh yeah, there's New Moon Part 1 and Part 2, isn't it?
Yeah, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part
Oh,
2.
Breaking What? Oh my God,
And it's
Lord. Okay.
they're the worst ones. So one part of it is really, really good. You'll love one part, but
Okay.
the CGI in that is fucked. It's so
Oh
bad.
gosh.
But
This is
it's
like this is like 08, 09, 2010, 2011, so I don't expect it to be really good, honestly.
it's
Um,
great.
but I'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much. Charlie, before we let you go, please let the listeners know where they can find you online and support you, including OnlyFans.
Yes. So my Twitter and Instagram is Charlie Evans Pro. You'll have to type the whole thing in because I am shadow banned as anyone could be.
Also,
And then
your display name is also like not Charlie Evans at all right now.
it's not. It's Chevs because I feel like I want to just change my wrestling name to that. So that's cool. And then onlyfans.com/Charlie Evans. And please watch PWA Australia. That's their on everything. Colosseum is the 12th and 13th of October.
Don't forget to watch PWA Colosseum. Obviously, in the States, if you're on the East Coast, I believe it's going to be 6 a.m. starting our time. It's going to be 8 p.m. Sydney time, I believe. And then on October 12th, the second day, it starts at 4 o'clock. That means it's going to start at 2 a.m. East Coast time or 11 p.m. on the 11th if you're Pacific time.
Yes.
Hopefully
Worth
we
waiting.
got that correct. If not, just follow PWA Australia and Charlie on Twitter. They'll let you know all the deets. Obviously, Charlie, we wish you the best of luck. I'm really looking forward to this match. Obviously, you and Jessica have faced off numerous times, but the stakes are kind of like double, tripled in this because if you're going to win this title, then you got to defend it at least 2 more times if you want to keep it through PWA Colosseum. Also, we'll be seeing Grayson Waller and a lot more matches to be announced. But you'll know most of them by the time this comes out. Charlie, thank you so much for joining me here again today.